Welcome back to NextGen Biology. Today's lesson is all about how plants reproduce. We'll break it down step by step from asexual and sexual reproduction to pollination and seed formation. Let's break it down together. Reproduction is the process by which organisms produce new individuals of the same species. There are two main types of reproduction, sexual and asexual. Asexual reproduction involves only one parent. The offspring are genetically identical to the parent. So asexual reproduction happens through simple cell division. No fertilization is needed really, just one parent is involved here. Examples include potato tubers, hydra, budding binary fission in bacteria and fungi like molds. And you know, hydra can actually regenerate a whole new body from just a small piece. Pretty fascinating, isn't it? Sexual reproduction requires two parents and it involves the fusion of male and female gametes. This process, by the way, leads to genetic variation in the offspring. So a diploid cell has two sets of chromosomes, right? Meanwhile, a haploid cell has only one set. Just remember, diploid means two sets of chromosomes and haploid means just one set. Fertilization is basically the fusion of male and female gametes to form a zygote. It's as simple as that. Gamete plus gamete gives you a zygote. Now, asexual reproduction uses mitosis, while sexual reproduction uses meiosis to form gametes. So mitosis is for asexual reproduction and meiosis is for sexual reproduction. All right, let's break down the main differences between asexual and sexual reproduction. So with asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved and the process uses mitosis. The offspring are, well, pretty much identical to the parent. It's a fast process and doesn't use much energy. The big advantage here is that it's quick and doesn't require a partner, but the downside is there's no variation. Now, with sexual reproduction, you need two parents and the process involves meiosis. Offspring are genetically different, which is great for variation and survival. However, it's a slower process and uses more energy. So, yeah, the main disadvantage is that it takes longer and needs more effort. Let's explore the parts of a flowering plant together. There's the petal, which is usually colorful, and the sepal, which protects the flower bud. Then you've got the anther and filament, which are part of the male structure. The ovary and ovule are part of the female structure, along with the stigma, style, and carpel. Each part has its own special role in how flowers reproduce. Each part of the flower has a role in reproduction, right? The sepal protects the bud before it opens. Petals, well, they attract insects for pollination. The anther makes pollen, which is essential for fertilization. The carpel is the female part of the flower. The ovary holds the ovules, and the style connects the stigma to the ovary. Finally, the stigma is where pollen lands and starts the fertilization process. It's all pretty fascinating, isn't it? So, pollen grains actually contain the male gametes, which is pretty interesting. They're produced in the anthers by meiosis. Pollination, well, that's the transfer of pollen from the anther to the stigma. There are two types, self-pollination and cross-pollination. So, let's compare insect-pollinated and wind-pollinated flowers. Insect-pollinated flowers tend to have large, colorful petals and a sweet scent, while wind-pollinated ones usually have small, dull petals and no scent at all. The anthers in insect-pollinated flowers are found inside the flower, but in wind-pollinated varieties they're exposed. The stigma is sticky in insect-pollinated flowers, helping to catch pollen, whereas it's feathery in wind-pollinated flowers to trap pollen from the air. Pollen itself is sticky and produced in small amounts for insect pollination, but for wind pollination, it's light and produced in large quantities. Oh, and don't forget the nectary. It's present in insect-pollinated flowers, but absent in wind-pollinated ones. After pollination, the pollen grain grows a tube down to the ovule. Then fertilization takes place and a seed begins to form. Basically, fertilization leads to a zygote, which develops into a seed inside the ovary. So, if two plants reproduce asexually and, well, the environment suddenly changes, what could go wrong? Without variation, all offspring may be affected by the same disease or condition. That's a big risk. All right, let's test your understanding. Here's a quick quiz. Question 1. What type of reproduction involves two parents? The answer is sexual. Question 2. Name one organism that reproduces asexually. Well, it could be hydra, bacteria, potato, or fungi. Question 3. Where are pollen grains made? That would be anthers. Question 4. What type of cell division produces gametes? The answer is meiosis. Question 5. Which part of the flower receives pollen? That's the stigma. And question 6. Give one difference between wind and insect-pollinated flowers. It could be petals, scent, pollen, or something similar. Great job. You now understand how plants reproduce. Don't forget to comment below if this helped, and subscribe to NextGen Biology.